I need to get some rest, but I need your seed.
Why?
Well, to sleep with it.
And as you fall, Enwin is still on his feet. The rest of you fall and break all of the tables inside of the Cheshire Club. To which Bo goes, "Come on!"
Best day ever!
Group, though. He would work with the group because he likes Cass, and that would just be really, really awkward on the battlefield.
What?
I don't think that's an awkward. Perfect person to protect Cass. I
Wait,
like
what?
it. Let's go.
I'm still here.
I don't need protection.
I'm still here.
I know you are, sweetie.
Chris,
It's okay.
shh. The adults are talking. Shh.
Oh,
One
alright.
second, buddy.
I like it. I'm gonna. What do you
Chris
think
likes
of-
Cass?
I like Ibs was a little pretentious.
Abs was
And
my
for
favorite.
me.
I like Bob.
Thanks, Perry.
All right.
Appreciate it.
Are you gonna leave?
Yeah, the crew needs me.
You go, and I'm gonna stay right here.
Oh my god.
And he nods his head. And he nods his head and walks you over to the door. Just sort of opens the door.
Oh man.
There was mouth stuff poison? Oh yeah.
No smell stuff.
That came out wrong. Sorry.
Sorry. I couldn't not laugh.
The person has died, Ryan. A little decorum,
Death
please.
due to mouth stuff. Come on. Get over it.
I'll go home
Smack
now.
him across the face. I'm like, wake up.
All right, you smack Ryan across the face. We're set up in these stands or floating above the water. Have never seen a ship cross the finish line, but first. And they all watch as the first thing they see is Monkey C. Written along the side of the ship, crossing and backwards. And you have crossed the finish line. Congratulations, crew. You have won the first high lock race for the briefest of seconds. Let them be. Let them love and hurt and change and tell stories and die fighting and pouring drinks and doing the right thing even though it hurts. Just let them be. We can give them that. What's going on, Indigo Chameleon audience? It's me, your good buddy Scribe, here to remind you of the fun ways that you can interact here on Indigo Chameleon, even when we're not streaming. One, we've got an amazing Discord. Come and hang out with us. We would love to have you there. You can find some inspiration if you need it. There's memes. There's even like fun ways for you to be like the first one to know when we're looking for players for a remote one-shot or a one-shot located here at Indigo Chameleon Studios. So please come and hang out with us on the Discord. We would love to have you. We also have a merch store. Yeah, it's a chance for you, the dear viewer, to help us represent the brand a little bit. There's t-shirts, there's mugs, there's prints, there's shower curtains. So I hear one day you will be mine, shower curtain. So yeah, thank you so much for all your support. And as always, there's always a spot here at the table for you. You are the 7th player at this spot. You can use stream points by clicking that little karma right at the bottom of your screen, right where the chat is, one of those sides. You can do that and earn stream points. Every time you tune in, you help us raid, you spread the word, donate bits. That, well, I don't know about spreading the word, it'd be hard to track that, but all of those other things will help you earn stream points that you can use to help your players when they need it the most. Thank you all so much for all your support. Indigo Connect, and hey.
Sit back, dear friends, and hear the tale, when fairies flew and ships did sail. You know the stories often told, of Peter Pan, both brave and bold, of Tinker Bell, clever and smart, of evil men born black of heart, adventure and treasure buried in sand, time held its breath in Neverland. But darkness fell on the island fair. A sickness rose of no compare. Each creature and plant fell one by one. No respite found for anyone. So the island died, its people scattered. Those left behind, broken and battered. Years went by, no end in sight. Then through the darkness came new light. The island breathes and life returns. Within our heroes a fire burns. The drive to find those who are lost. To build a home at any cost. Join pixies, skeletons, a mermaid or two. Healers, never boys, and lost boys too. They're here each week, new stories told. So pull up a chair and never grow old.
Hello, everybody! Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Friday night. It's time for a little Dungeons and Dragons here on Indigo Chameleon. We have a few announcements before we get started. As you saw that really handsome-looking person before who was wearing a hat. Thanks, Avarium Gaming, for the subscription. 11 months in a row. You're almost a year old. Your subscription is pretty soon. They'll be kind of like doing those first words and stuff. It's pretty great. So thank you, Avarium Gaming. I was just talking about Captain Avarium the other night. We have a Discord. You can come hang out on the Discord and find cool stuff, like all of us hanging out and talking about the most up-to-date schedule and things of that sort. We also have a merch store. I sent Slowpoke the link for the merch store today, and then made the mistake of looking at the merch store and ordering a whole bunch of my own merch for the channel. So I'm getting a cool jacket. It's gonna be green.
Delivery times better than Amazon currently.
It's pretty great. So anybody who gets cool stuff in the merch store, you're representing the brand. So thank you. We have, what do we have in the merch store? Oh, upcoming schedule for this week. We're still trying to find a time for the third part of the one-shot series that we're doing set in Neverland. Oh, is there weird feedback? Or is that just me?
There's a lot of talking in the background.
Oh, let's see if we can, narrow that down. Hi, Torrid. Thanks for the
I
subscription.
could actually go through and figure out where.
That's
While
okay.
you talk,
Thank
I
you.
will figure out
So we've got like I said, we've got the cool merch store. Upcoming schedule for this week. We don't have anything going on this particular weekend, but I encourage you to go look over at Icky V's stream. She has some amazing Dungeons and Dragons games going on. There's also a brand new episode of a podcast that you should definitely download and listen to. What is that podcast called?
Oh, it's Into the Vault.
It's Into the Vault. And what movie?
We did an episode together.
Yay! What did Slowpoke and Desmahai cover in this week's episode of Into the Vault?
Well, we talked about The Black Cauldron, a movie loved by some and others have different opinions. Give it a listen.
So please download Into the Vault this weekend and listen to it at your leisure or leisure, depending on what the case may be. Tuesday nights, we
through a lot of stress.
Tuesday we have an episode of Wonder. Last week was a pretty heavy episode where I messed up the rules on what a beholder can do, but everything went great. A few characters almost died. And it shows you that even a DM as wizened as myself, having just just become an old man yesterday, it shows that even the most wizened among us can F up royally. So it was a pretty great episode.
Or accidental homebrew.
Accidental homebrew.
It was a homebrew.
It was
beholder.
the Wonderland variant of the beholder. Super rare if you could find that card. So that was fun. So tune in for more shenanigans on Tuesday as we figure out why Thoe is back and missing a leg, but replaced with an ice leg that talks. Yeah, it's pretty great. It's probably one of my weirder.
It's pretty great.
It's pretty
having a talking missing leg.
Welcome to the Sentient Weapon Group. We'd love to have you.
His interpretation of pretty great is different than mine.
The Queen of Air and Darkness has bequeathed you an ice leg, so it's pretty awesome.
With her voice.
With her voice. So yeah, Wonders got some fun stuff coming. We got a brand new campaign starting probably this summer at some point. You can tune in for our I think it's going to be called, I think we're leaning towards calling it Wanderlust. So tune in for more announcements on that by hanging out on the Discord. On Thursday, we go back to the Lost Isle. We skipped a week because it was my birthday yesterday. And I took the night off and watched Schitt's Creek because it's amazing. So yeah, it was a pretty great night. So that was, so tune in this Thursday for a continuation of the Lost Isle. That's right, real play. And then on Friday, we go back to Neverland. So I think that's it in terms of the announcements. I think that's it for the schedule. Once upon a time in Neverland, the heroes have found themselves. Thank you, Deploy Garrison. I love that name. The heroes have found themselves at a theme park. So having spent a little bit of time in the part of the theme park that they hadn't spent time in before, some of them managed to take a much-needed rest along the Rainbow Pond, and the other ones fought legions of the undead, depending on which path they chose. Slowpoke, Desbahai, and Thistle fought unstoppable, unbeatable forces of the undead, while Cal talked to teenagers making minimum wage.
I had her tickets though, like.
Yeah, but you still got tickets thanks to your cleverness and you high charisma characters. Curse you. Shake your fist harder. So that's curse you. So after that, though, the group met up again after the park had closed because there was somebody that had wanted to recruit them into a council of individuals that were all banding together to fight the mother mimic. As you all came back to the park late at night, you were greeted by one John Bird. A Aarakocra who looks a little bit older. This is the last time you see him, a month at least. But his feathers have grown in at this point, and he is.
Who we all thought died for a good 3 minutes.
Who you all thought died for a good 3 minutes, but no, he was so beloved by the audience, and when I put that ad in the comic book of whether to bring back John Bird or kill him, the audience voted to bring him back. So
he didn't come back as Red Beak.
He did not come back as Red Beak.
It's Ray Talon, first of all.
After falling in the Larry pit. No, I had it. No. We are gonna jump right back in, right where we left off. So, gang, you are gathered around the Rainbow Pond. You are met by John Bird, who meets you there. Clip seems a little tired, like she hasn't rested fully yet. But she's getting there. And you notice as you walk up to the Rainbow Pond that there's a few individuals a little bit further away. Clip and Eris, you'd be more familiar with the territory. There's that light fog that's rolling in again, and it's kind of like filling the area with. You're not heavily obscured. It's not like somebody dropped a fog cloud spell or anything like that, but there's just a light mist surrounding the ground. John Bird looks overly excited to see you. He's sort of hopping on his feet around the group a little bit. You see that he's still holding a bow and arrow and on his person. His armor has been somewhat upgraded as he's wearing what looks to be a studded leather at this point, and just sort of moving about the group. But very hurriedly, he leads you over to what looks to be a small semicircle where people are clumped together. You see some individuals that you recognize. You see some individuals that you don't. Clip and Eris, you would recognize Seth from earlier, the one that invited you there. She's no longer wearing the robes that you saw her in before. She looks like she's wearing clothes befitting someone trying to sneak around in the dark a little bit. She's wearing what looks to be black pants and a black shirt. there are some other individuals that you recognize. As Clip, Eris, Slowpoke, Dez, Thistle, and Cow come into the clearing, a large furry shape comes running out of the mist, swooping Clip up into his arms, throwing her into the air almost as if you would do with a child, and catching her and just sort of enveloping her in a hug as Rovar sees you all and gives you a giant hug, placing Clip upon the ground. He goes, "Hey guys, bring it in. It's great to see you again," and reaches forward. He goes, "I didn't know you guys were here. I should have told you about this place a long time ago. I found some friends, and you see a couple of other individuals. Many of them you've never met before. As Rovar's kind of got an arm around you and is just talking to you, you realize that the council, there's a couple of people engaged in conversation. There is a younger girl who looks to be, I say younger, she's older than Slowpoke and Thistle. She looks to be in her like early teens, maybe late teens. It's hard to tell. She's wearing ragged clothes that seem to be made out of like leaves and organic materials. She's got Asian features, long raven hair, and inside of her hair are these little like twigs. And as you watch her, a little bird like pops out of the hair and like flies over and grabs a bug and then flies back into the hair. And she is currently speaking with a young, you would identify them as guardians. It is much smaller than the guardian that you saw once before, but it is a humanoid, like dragonborn figure. This one is made, it's got a translucent, like a shiny silver skin. So silver scaled young dragonborn who's somewhat nervous, and it looks like the older girl is speaking to him, trying to calm him down a little bit. As he's got a sword at his side, and he keeps like holding the sword and then putting his hand down and then grabbing the sword again. The only other individual in this clearing is a very good-looking man who's off to one side, and he's speaking with Seth. This man is is very tall. He's 6'2". He's very skinny. He's got a little bit of a 5 o'clock shadow, which he has like trimmed and stuff like that. You'd swear he was a pirate, but he's wearing such odd clothing that he looks a little too enigmatic to be a pirate. Currently, he's wearing a fluorescent orange suit. It's bright orange pants, like neon orange, orange jacket, and a lime green shirt. Going with the orange suit. And as he talks with Seth, he's sort of like animatedly like waving his arms and like moving about, and he looks like he's telling a story, and Seth is nodding her head. These are all of the individuals that you see in this small clearing. Hi, 12 for 10 cents. Rovar is currently administering hugs. We're going around to people, saying hello and greeting them. And John Bird is not too far away. He's kind of sticking closer with this group of individuals.
Hello, Rovar.
Hi, little one. How are you?
I am good. How are you?
Good, good. I've been fighting the good fight. We think we weaseled out one of the other mimics that had made their way into the circle of druids, but I think for the time being we are good to go and all set. So.
Okay, so you have a plan for the big one?
No.
Oh.
So big.
Okay. Does anybody have a plan for the big one? Because I feel like if we take out the big one, then maybe the little ones will go away, right?
Yeah, that's kind of why we got Seth decided to pull together a council. Each of the individuals that you see here is located within a subsect. We reached out to a bunch of different groups, but some of them have not sent representatives. I guess they're waiting for us to prove ourselves.
Oh.
Who are we waiting on, Rovar?
there's a council of 4 that hasn't sent representatives yet. A lot of the pirate clans, including the reigning pirate king of the time, has not sent a representative to represent the 7 ships. All of you give me a history check. I would say Slowpoke, Thistle, and Cal. Slowpoke, Thistle, and Cal, you can give me this check at advantage based on your background.
That was a 7 minus 1.
Yeah, this is gonna be a history check.
That was also a 7 minus 1.
7 minus 1.
Got
So
it.
Thistle, you have no idea what the 7
No.
Hard 20.
Hard 20.
16.
16.
7.
Yeah, man. Okay.
21.
21 for Slowpoke?
20.
20. Okay. So my 20-plussers. The 7 ships is a bit of a pirate hierarchy here in Neverland. The 7 ships are 7 ship captains that make the ruling decisions for the ships for basically all of the pirate clan. 7 is for the odd number, and it's also for the number of seas there are. Each one takes on a different designation as one of the 7 seas. The way to get into the council is to pick somebody who you think you'll win in a fight against and kill them. And that's how you become that particular one of the 7 seas. Okay? But that is the reigning sort of pirate council.
Cal has one job he wants now.
I gotta take a ship somehow.
Meeny, meeny, miny, mo.
You know for a fact, some of you have met one of the 7 seas. Any of you that happen to interact with Captain Avarium in passing, in one of them, you have met one of the 7 seas. If you happen to run into Captain Avarium, but he is the only one. The others you will meet later, if you so choose.
We could have taken him at the time. Man, if I know now what I knew then. Vice versa.
The Lost Boys have not sent a representative.
Sure they did.
Actually, you know what? Let's justify this now. As you go, sure they did. Seth will turn around and head over to the group. And see Eris and Clip and give you a small polite nod, smiling widely, and you will see her. You came. I'm so glad.
Of course we did.
You are a Lost Boy?
Yeah.
Are you here officially representing the Lost Boys?
Well, we Lost Boys have a saying. If you're somewhere, you're somewhere.
That is something that they have said before. Welcome. I was worried that they would not send anyone. Thank you. And she goes, the only other representatives that have not been there are the Never Boys.
Oh, here.
Oh, wow. Oh, all right. And of course, the tribe who wishes to remain impartial in this. But
I can represent the tribe. Me.
This is remarkable. Yes, of course. Please, all of you are welcome. We will begin shortly. Let me.
He's a pirate captain. He's worth like 7 seas all by himself.
She turns.
You know what? I could take anyone who challenges me. Yeah, sure.
She
like takes off the hat to skeleton and back to Steven.
Yeah, she turns and looks, and you. Who reacts? Hey, he's a pirate captain.
Yeah.
The guy in the suit smiles. He's got a big grin, and he almost like if he was drinking something, you know, he would have spit it up. Like he's a pirate captain. He's worth one of the 17s. The young dragonborn who is playing with kind of the hilt of the sword takes the sword out and holds it at his side. The Asian girl takes a hand and she kind of like puts it on his arm and brings it down like this, and as it does, he kind of like shivers a little bit, and he puts the sword back in the sheath. Okay.
It's alright. It wouldn't be the first person that's shown a sword at me. It's okay.
Seth goes, allow me to gather some materials. I need some components to cast a spell, but please introduce yourselves and get to know one another. We have much to discuss this evening. And
All right.
she walks back over to a spot. A little ways away from the group, outside of the mist and the fog. Looks like she's heading into. Actually, it looks like she's heading into the manor, which is all closed down. It's hard to tell, but she's heading into that particular area.
Oh, I want to go in there. Wait, what is her name again?
Seth.
Seth. Oh, got it. Okay.
S-E-P-H. Seth.
I wrote that wrong. Okay. Yes. I just need to think of an excuse to follow her.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I'll think of something.
Do you really need an excuse? Can you just not follow her?
Of the three, what vibe do those three give off?
Give me a vibe check.
Like an emotion.
I need
if I looked at
the
vibe check.
What emotion?
Obviously, one's nervous.
The Guardian's nervous.
Mm-hmm.
The teenage girl is ecstatic, and it looks like her when she's holding it pretty close to the chest, like from the top up. But if you looked at her feet would be bouncing up and down. Like she was like, she's super thrilled. This is the greatest thing that's ever happened in the history of the world.
Nice.
You know, Buddy the Elf, what's your favorite color? Like she's bouncing up and down. The guy in the suit is aloof. He's walking around. He's actually sitting in one of the chairs now. His legs are crossed in front of him, and his legs are. He just looks like he's. Give me an insight check. Everybody that's scoping out the new kids.
21 again.
21 again for Dez.
14. Yeah,
for
boy.
Harris.
15.
15 for Cal.
15.
15
I'm
for
not
Cliff.
good in social situations.
Cliff's like, I don't know. Slowpoke.
21.
For my 15s, or around the teen range, what about you, Cal? Was that you?
15.
15.
Yeah.
Teen range, he seems aloof, like he seems like he's just a little disconnected. For my 21s, he keeps making glances up towards the group. If you got a 21, he's studying you all. He's being more discreet about it than anyone else is. He's summing you up. You look at his eyes as he kind of like looks down at the ground and then flicks an eye towards Eris. He's studying what items Eris has on her person, how she's holding herself, what she's wearing, and he does it for everyone in the group.
When he looks at me, I want to give him that.
You would have had you made that insight.
I got a 3, so.
The Dragonborn is dragged unceremoniously by the teenage girl, who grabs him by the hand and goes running forward. He grabs the Dragonborn by the hand and goes running forward, and she goes, "Hi, I'm Meeks. It's really nice to meet you all. I'm so glad that you're part of the council, because I'm part of the council, and that means that we're technically like friends now, even though we've never met you before. Well, I've never met you before. I'm guessing that some of the other council members have met you before, but I've never met you before. But because we're working together to kill the Mother Mimic, we don't have to kill her. We just have to get rid of her to save the animals of Neverland. And I'm really excited to be here. And
who are you with?
What?
Who are you with? Who are you representing?
Oh, Neverland.
As a whole?
Yes.
It's nice to meet you, Meeks.
Thank you. You probably know my mom. She is the Earth.
I think
Like-
I'm married to her.
Like what we're standing on, Earth?
Well, all of it. We each get to pick an area, and we get to be sort of like the guardian of like the plants and the animals. But a lot of the plants and the animals like all kind of like live on their own. We just like intervene when there's like an outside threat. So I was asleep for a really long time because I woke up when the sickness came, and then I walked around for a little bit and tried to hold it off so that you guys could make your way out through the portal. But then after you guys all made it out through the portal, then I fell asleep, and then I woke back up again when the Mother Mimic came.
Wait, what are you in charge of?
I'm not really in charge of anything. I'm just like here to help stuff. Like being in charge of something, that seems like really like you can't be in charge of like the wind, you know, or in charge of like the ocean. It just kind of is, and you just kind of help facilitate.
What do you facilitate?
The wind and the ocean. And
Okay.
like the plant growth.
I was just checking. I mean, I didn't know
I'd
if
like
you were
to
being
question
specific
when
about.
Thistle would use the word facilitate.
Well, she said facilitate, so I said it back.
It's a grown-up word.
I like grown-up words.
Me too.
Hey, Meeks, who's your friend here?
Oh, this is Connor. Say hi, Connor.
Hi, Connor.
Connor is pushed forward and goes, and like sort of nods his head, and he goes, "Hi, I'm Connor. I'm a guardian, a new guardian, and I'm learning, but my dad sent me, and my mom. So."
Do you have a famous dad too?
No, he's just a dad.
Oh, okay.
Do
Well,
you-
because her mom's the Earth, so I didn't know if your dad was like the moon or something. I mean, that'd be really cool. But I'm sure having just a regular dad's really cool too.
I'm Connor.
Well, Connor, my name is Eris. And this is Des. We have Slowpoke.
She walks up as you say this. Meeks comes up and she like grabs her face and she's like,
"Oh,
Eris,
that's me. You got it."
Clip, cow.
And then when she's doing that, like, hat off, skeleton in the back.
What's your name?
Yes, sir.
This.
Someone clip that! Someone clip that, please!
She goes through and grabs. She goes slow poke. Des behind.
Yes.
That helps me remember names.
That's fair.
I should do that.
Yeah.
That's a good trick.
It's a really good trick. You can use it.
I think I will.
It helps me facilitate.
I'm dying. So Meeks, the guy over there in the orange suit, who's that dude?
He wouldn't let me touch his face, so I'm having trouble remembering his name.
Do you want me to hold him down so you can touch his face?
I mean, yes, but please don't.
Oh, okay.
Every living creature should be allowed a bit of like autonomy, like being able to decide what they want to do. But I really wish I could have touched his face.
I understand. What's his name?
I don't.
Just now noticed this guy.
I mean,
I don't remember.
You don't know. You don't remember.
I told you this helps me remember. I don't remember.
Okay.
It's
Do you know why he didn't want you to touch?
No.
Okay, I'm gonna find out what his name is. I'm gonna walk over to the guy in the orange suit and say, "What's your name?"
Do me a favor, because I want to make sure that you guys can all hear each other. Garrison, try logging out of the call and then logging back in. See if that fixes it.
Thank you.
All right, let's try this. Let's try this. because they couldn't hear some of you, and I want to see if we can get it so that they can hear all of you. Okay. So we're going to try this. Everybody say hi.
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 Hello. Can everybody say hi at different times, please? Because we're also not getting any visuals, so I can't see who all is syncing up.
Yeah.
Sure. This is Thistle and Meeks.
Hi.
Mm-hmm. Hello, it is Cliff.
And hello, it is me.
Did you hear them?
Yes.
Yeah,
Hi, it's me. I'm Eris.
Oh, there we go.
finally.
Yay!
Okay. Do 1/2 of the conversation for 10 minutes.
So
No wonder we were talking.
okay. Thistle is getting up and leaving the group, and she's heading over to the individual wearing the suit. Is anybody going with her?
I'm gonna.
Yeah, I'll just like hang back, but I'll listen in.
Okay. Thistle heads over, and yeah, he's just sort of sitting there. As his legs are sort of crossed, he puts both of his legs down and slides over on the bench. Hi.
Hi, what's your name?
I don't like to give out my name.
My name's Thistle.
Wow, that's great.
Why don't you like to give out your name?
I was burned in the past.
You were burned?
Yes.
Where?
On my arm.
Oh my gosh, can I see? Did it leave a scar? Scars are cool.
I'm immediately regretting my choices that have brought me here. Are you representing one of the groups here?
Well, I'm a never boy.
You're a never boy. Great.
Yeah.
Great.
What's wrong with that?
No, nothing. I don't get along great with kids.
I'm probably older than you. Anyway, so is there a name that like somebody could call you if it's not your real name just to make things easier?
Sure, call me Otts.
Otts?
Otts.
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 Otts. Got it. I mean, that's a really hard name to say. We could go with like Fred or Joe.
No, you can go with Otts.
Otts.
Yeah, that's what I prefer to be called.
Okay.
Is this charming to other people, or is this?
I don't know.
Okay, great.
It really is.
Great. How are you? Who are you? You're not a child. That's fun.
No, definitely not. I'm Clip.
Clip. Nice to meet you, Clip. And he holds a hand out.
She's very nice.
I
do not take it.
I can tell. And tall, dark, and handsome behind. Hi.
Yeah. Hi.
What's your name?
I'm Cal.
Cal. Great to meet you, Cal. Otts.
Hi. Usually, like, you're just not gonna like shake the guy's hand. He'll like, as in my like wood clip, and just like put his hand out.
I don't.
That's fair.
Cal. As you shake his hand, I need you to give me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Oh, who saw that coming? I did.
Suddenly, my social distancing isn't weird anymore.
This is me, your DM, encouraging social distancing with the NPC.
You know what? That's on me. Did a 13 do it?
13 does not do it. You put your hand out, and your hand is yanked backward, as a small part of you does not want to be anywhere near this dude's hand.
Oh.
As you get a very violent reaction from the hook on your hand, as he flips out and just does not want to be anywhere near that dude.
Sorry about that.
It's fine. Is it something I said?
No, it's not you, it's me.
Ah, got it. Well, this has been super weird.
So who are you with?
What do you mean?
So like that one over there is the Earth. That one's a Guardian. We've got a Never Boy. Who are you with?
I'm with an independent party.
Obviously, it's not too independent if you're part of the council.
You don't look like you're ready to party.
He turns at, looks at you, and he kind of he goes, "I'm here representing the Indigo Chameleon."
Oh, I've heard of them.
That one guy, that the
Pax.
people, that and the Duncan guy, yeah.
Yep.
And Daisy.
They stepped on a bunny.
That's what you remember from that? Not the whole like afternoon we spent playing in Cannonball, but the fact that he stepped on a bunny. That's what stuck.
Yeah.
They were all
No,
much
that's-
friendlier than you.
Sure.
I'm sure they were.
How far are we away from this interaction?
You're far enough away, I would say, that you would all hear it, but you would miss some of the subtle, the subtle intonations as this individual has this conversation. However, the conversation is interrupted as Seth comes back into the clearing. It looks like she's holding a brazier. And there's a tiny bit of smoke coming out of the brazier, which is intermingling with the fog that's coming out of the rainbow pond. As she walks over closer to you, it is hard to see whether the fog is actually coming out of the brazier itself, or if it is intermingling when there's a weird give and take as she holds the brazier up and smoke is pouring out of it. As she comes over, Otz brushes some dirt off of his suit, takes his suit jacket off, and lays it on the bench. And as he does, he begins to roll up the sleeves of his shirt. You see the other individuals of the council begin to sheathe their weapons and come forward to gather closer to where Seth is.
Should we do the same? Like if we're like representing people?
Rovar hears this and kind of like comes up behind Clip and Cal and puts his big furry paws over them, and he goes, "You're gonna love this part. Trust me."
Only one allowed to have.
He's the only one. He's the only one big enough to hug you. And brings you all over. As he does, Seth looks at the group and studies them. She goes, "This council was conceived to take on a deadly threat. A threat inherent to life that threatens life as we know it here in Neverland. Each of you represents a group or a small contingent of people that is threatened by the mother of all mimics. We've come to learn that there are mimics amongst us, plotting, gathering intelligence where they can. And we have decided that enough is enough. Each one of you here represents a faction. However, we are drawn together as interlocking rings within a greater whole. There is an image that comes out of the brazier of rings, small rings that appear in the air and sort of hover above everyone's heads as if they were small halos. Alone, while we may be powerful, together we form an unbreakable chain, only as strong as the link behind us and in front of us. When collected together, we are a force to be reckoned with. You are the unbreakable chain that holds and tethers Neverland to this reality. We have some newcomers in our midst. Before you undertake, I want to explain to you the stakes that are at hand." Seth goes, "My name is Persephone. I have been around for many, many years. And it is my job to look after this council. It is a task that I have taken upon myself. There is a ritual that binds you to this group. It will instill upon you a pact. In order to leave this pact, we all must destroy the mother of all mimics. But while in this pact, you will be able to distinguish them when out and about. You will be granted my sight. But should you abandon this quest, should you abandon this cause, and in turn abandon Neverland to her fate, the price is great. The risk is worth the reward, in my opinion, and so the opinion of those that have undertaken this task. She looks at the group as the group sort of looks about. Some of them eagerly looking about the group and making eye contact, like Meeks is kind of looking back and forth and trying to dart eyes. But with that, Seth reaches inside the bowl and pulls out what looks to be a handful of seeds. Pomegranate seeds.
Are we supposed to eat those?
You are. But eating one of these pomegranate seeds is an outward sign. Think of it as a finalized component in the spell that I have been overlaying here for quite some time. It will draw you in as one of the links in the great chain.
And it'll mean we can see the mimics.
It will mean that you can see the mimics. It will also mean that members of this group will be able to come to your aid, should they be close, to assist you in any of your endeavors.
All right, is there any downside?
She thinks and she says, only if you plan on breaking the covenant you're about to make.
Ooh, what happens?
Insight.
Go ahead, Eris.
Man, I think that's a yeah, 13.
She seems somewhat straightforward. There's a lot of pomp and circumstance to her words, but it looks like she's gone through this ceremony a few times.
Okay.
She looks at Thistle. Thistle, give me a persuasion check, please.
Ooh, that's good. It's a 21.
You go, Thistle.
Otz leans forward as Thistle goes, what happens if you break the pact? And he leans forward a little bit as if to go like, I've asked this question and haven't gotten an answer yet. You see her kneel down to get on your level, Thistle, and make eye contact with you. And she says, should you back out of this bargain, your life force will be granted to the cause.
I'll die.
In a way.
Okay. And so what am I agreeing to do? Because like, is it meaning that if somebody calls me to show up to fight the mimic and like I have to go to the bathroom and I can't get there on time, am I gonna like die? How do I end up breaking the thing even if it's an accidental thing?
Meeks like slowly like puts her head behind Thistle as this conversation is happening and going, actually that's a very good question. If we are taking a potty break during a time of summoning, does that break the covenant? And she smiles and says, no, you are granted unlimited bathroom breaks. But you would be, if you are called for aid, you must grant it.
But like after the bathroom break.
After the...
Or like if I really needed a sandwich.
No, I'm afraid.
Sometimes I get really hungry.
I understand. You should.
What if I haven't eaten all day and I'm gonna fight and then I need my energy?
Something small to keep your blood sugar up, perhaps. Yes, Eris.
Seth, can you grant us any safety if we're in this pact?
What do you have in mind?
That my friends and family will be safe. That's all I'm concerned of.
Connor steps forward and goes, I thought that's what we were doing here. Look, if they don't want to undertake this, they don't have to do this. There are plenty of other warriors willing to step up and take on The weight.
Connor, I did not say that I didn't want to do this. Don't you have people that you care for that you would also hope that they had safety?
He backs up a little bit, but he's staring down at the ground. She looks at you very plainly, Eris, and says, "No. I can grant you no added safety than you grant yourselves. The world is a terrible place. Neverland is filled with magic. This has become a safe haven for anyone lost that needs to find their way, child and adult alike. But with that safety comes a great deal of magic. Creatures, evil men and women looking to utilize the sources of Neverland to their own benefit. I'm not here to offer you a safety, a place, a safe haven. That is not my goal. That is not my mission. Quite the opposite, Eris. If you are here, I mean to put you into the thick of it, to place you in harm's way. Not for your benefit, but for the benefit of all.
So my family's a sacrifice. Is that what you're telling me?
Not if you succeed. Are we all sacrificed? I do not intend to send you blindly into danger. But you have seen what the mimic is capable of doing.
I mean, the way I see it, joining this pact is a safety. It's a safety in numbers, a safety we wouldn't have otherwise.
And that's why I asked. But I don't feel that there's a lot of backup there.
Not yet. But
we all walked into the mimic's lair together, practically completely outnumbered, and we watched one of our friends join them. I think that we were less protected then than we are now, with an army backing us, led by somebody who obviously knows what they're doing.
So Des says this. Des says one of our members freely walked in to where the mother mimic was and joined it. And everyone reacts. Meek's eyes go wide. Connor grabs the sword at his side and just holds on to the hilt of it. Otz, who has been somewhat sort of outside of the conversation, takes a few steps forward as if to hear more of what Des Bahai is saying. And Seth takes a step backward as if she's been slapped. Your compatriot, your friend.
Somebody we worked with from time to time. Yes. A friend of ours. A friend.
Rovar gives a subtle growl in his throat, and Connor puts the sword away. Lets go of the sword. Yeah. Yeah.
It's like Cal's taking his hand off the hilt of a pistol, with that.
Look, it may not be the best case scenario, our favorite thing that happened, but I believe it was done to save us because we were definitely outmatched.
Then there is hope. There is a human presence that is a part of the mother mimic.
Yes.
Alright. Cal looks at Clip as I told you we'd just get this over with. I told you if we did this job at the treasury, go back to them, and without thinking twice, he just takes one of the seeds and just pops it in.
Okay.
I follow one too.
Des takes a seed.
So just to be clear, if I eat the seed, I can see the mimics. I know who's in our group. If I call them, they'll help me. And if they call me, I'll help them unless I'm in the bathroom. And then I'll help them as soon as I can. And that's the whole deal right there, right? Is there anything I'm missing?
No.
Okay.
This is
I ate the seed.
Detailed I've seen this one any deal ever.
A Thistle, you take the seed as well. So right now it's Cal, Des, and Thistle. Okay.
Before I make a move, is that the only thing the pomegranate does? The pomegranate seed allows me to see the mimics, because I'm pretty sure I can do that on my own.
No, you enter into a pact with the group.
Your mic went out.
No, you enter into a pact with the group.
Nope.
No, you enter into a pact
No,
with
you're
the group.
He's
No, you.
the Wi-Fi knocked out on the phone.
Oh, got it. Okay.
No, you enter a pact in the group.
I mean, if there's nothing else, I think I can take mine.
Okay.
Has anyone else taken it other than our group?
No.
Then I'm waiting.
Eris, go ahead and take mute the call if you can, or just take your headphones out. Clip, are you joining us as well?
Eris did it?
No.
I haven't made my choice yet then.
Go ahead and take your headset out. So, Des, Slowpoke, Thistle, and Cal. As you pop the pomegranate seed into your mouth, it tastes incredibly sweet. First off, you are now initiated into what I'm calling for lack of a better term, the council. Okay, the benefits found therein to the council are pretty self-explanatory. You are required to assist in anyone who is joined in with the council during times of need. You are free to explore Neverland at your leisure. However, you are also granted a bit of Persephone's vision. Okay? It is a godly vision, and as you take the pomegranate seed and pop it into your mouth, you see the faint outlines of aura around individuals. Okay? You see that Slowpoke, Thistle, give off this kind of bright orangey yellow glow. It's almost like a translucent outline that goes like from this all the way down to here. It kind of covers their body. Des Baha'i also gives off a healthy glow, but hers is a little more dark blue. Okay? And everyone gives off this aura of life, of vitality to them. And as Seth looks at you and smiles, that smile, she's giving off the brightest glow of anyone in the clearing. Okay? This is a low form of detect magic. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
That is kind of perpetually going. And you test this by looking at your items and seeing them give off faint glows reminiscent of what you would find in a spell of detect magic. Okay? Now, Cal's version of this, you see the image that he has overlaid on top of himself, because he is wearing his hat of disguise, and a faint glow that comes forth from the disguise itself. So think like gray outline. So not only will you be able to see if someone is a mimic and hiding their appearance, but if anyone is using the spell Disguise Self, you will be able to see through a spell such of this sort as well, while a part of the council.
I want to flash open Third Sight for a minute, just to see if maybe this...
At who?
Just looking around. Maybe at Persephone, just to open up, or stuff, just to open up and just see.
Cal?
Okay, I have your sight now, and then let's see if it doubles up.
Okay. Clip, Eris, you're good. The rest of the group is just looking around the group. Like the rest of the group is just kind of like looking around. They're looking at their skin. They're looking at the magical items they have at their possession. Ooh, your mic cut out. Try that again. Maybe you accidentally went on mute.
Yeah, I did. I asked Meeks why she didn't eat.
What do you mean? Why?
All of my friends. Yeah, because I mean, we're the only, or my
You're
4
new.
friends are the only ones who ate.
You're new. We already had some. You join in with the members of the pack that already exists, the council that already exists. We already had some earlier. It tastes sweet. It's very good.
Can confirm.
Cal, you are blinded. You are blinded for the next minute as you open your third eye and look upon a goddess. Someone who has been to the other side and back more times than she can count. And for the most part, like you get a brief image of a woman surrounded by an unholy light, but just for the next minute. But Cal, it's too much, even for your eye to hold to be able to force back the feeling.
No, that's fine.
Yeah. And Seth nods and looks at the group, and she looks at Cal, who's just kind of like, it's hard to tell if a skeleton is blinking or not. But yeah. Well, welcome. Eris, Clip, I respect your decision immensely.
Insight.
Sure.
Oh, God, isn't that one?
She's being very firm with you. She's being very true, and she goes, and I respect the fact that you are here to assist your friends in a way that you can assist them. However, while we speak of council business, I would ask you not to participate. You are welcome to wait for them. No harm will come to them, but I have to ensure that council business stays with the council and that they share with you what information they would like to share with you after council business has completed. That seems only fair to me. And she sweeps a hand outward to indicate the path leading away from where you are at the Rainbow Pond.
I walk away. Before I walk, I apologize to everyone.
Why are you apologizing?
Yeah, you're doing what you're doing.
I just don't know what to trust at this moment.
It's okay.
And I walk off.
Yeah. She sweeps her arm out. You sense a profound respect. There's a reason why the Lost Boys, the Never Boys, the Pirate Council, there's quite a few groups that are not represented here. And they probably might have been given the same pitch and were like, no. So yeah. Clip, she does look at you as well, and with a sad smile, she does indicate her head off to the side, as if to say, "This is council business. You have made a choice not to participate. So please, what we are about to discuss is for sensitive ears."
I took a seed for you. I want you to know this. Because I made a pact when we walked out of that mimic hut that I would help you get your family back. So that's all I'm gonna say.
I trust you.
Okay. Clip, you follow after Eris?
Yes.
Okay. Clip and Eris, you guys head off a little ways down the path, and until you turn from the circle and walk down the path. And as you turn your back, everybody, you don't know when it happened, you don't know how it happened, but Otz is standing right behind you. He is, as you walk together and turn back to look at the group, Otz is standing there. He was in the group with you all and just wasn't. But he's standing there, big, sort of tall figure that's shorter than Clip. But he's standing there and he goes, "You can keep going a little bit further."
We were walking.
I understand.
I can't see the group, so why do I have to continue walking, sir?
Because I don't know what sort of magical capabilities you have. Maybe
Well, I have plenty.
you've
I
got-
don't know what yours are, so I don't know why you snuck up behind me.
I can show you.
Do you intend to harm me?
No, I wouldn't harm you. I'd just cool you off a little bit.
I'm sorry?
I wouldn't harm you. I would just cool you off a little bit.
Seems like somebody with a fire suit probably would need that more. And I walk off.
Yep. And he stays at his spot and like looks at you, Clip.
I go.
Yep.
I'm not even entertaining.
Yep. I'm going to operate under the assumption that Cal is going to share all of this information with you anyway. So feel free to keep your headsets on, and that way he doesn't have to. You don't have to hear it all over again. As the council comes together and she stands there and says, "You all will see the faint outline shaded around things, the aura that's there. This will allow you to identify the mimics in their disguised form. For the time being, we have a few things that are happening. We've established a parlay. There is an individual. The reason we reacted so strongly is that the mother mimic has reached out to us."
What?
There is a man, tall of build, dark hair, who claims to be a representative of the entity.
Did he tell you his name?
His name is Fortunato.
Fortunato. Yeah,
We know
that's our guy that we were just talking about.
Yeah.
Remember when?
Yes. So that is why the group reacted as strongly as it did. Hey, look, it's Fortunato in the chat. We are hoping that at such a time where we could all gather together, that Fortunato might be able to join us all and let the claims of the mother mimic and the demands be shared with us so that we can form some sort of communication between our parties. For now, we know very little. We know that they have infiltrated all of the major groups here in Neverland, and we know that they are gathering information. However, we also know something else. And she goes, she looks over at Meeks and she goes, I made contact with one of the animals that was being used by the mother mimic. It was a small sheep. I managed to reach out and the sheep was able to relay to me some of the information that it gleaned just being connected to her. So what I was hoping for is that a small group of us could go in to where one of the mother mimics had gathered creatures, get one of the animals that's a little recently captured, and I might be able to glean some more information before the connection is severed. But
I'm sorry to interrupt. Did you say one of the mother mimics? One of them?
Oh, she does this. She reaches up inside of her head and pulls out what looks to be a very large stick bug out of her hair. And as she goes like this, she kind of goes like this, and the stick bug retracts its legs and its arms, and she uses the stick bug as a wand, pointing the butt end of the stick bug into the air. And you see before you Neverland. I would say Eris and Clip, give me perception checks, as you are not within listening distance, but you are definitely within sight distance.
You almost did.
20 not nat.
Okay.
Final.
29. Okay, you both see this. Picture of Neverland. Okay, the island itself. Okay, floating in the air in front of you. Then the map of Neverland, as if it was like this, flips so that you're looking underneath of Neverland. Okay? You see, close to the circle of stones where you met Rovar, that big clump, a mama mimic. And then you see 3 other clumps. One close to like the pirate town, one that's right directly underneath the Never tree, one that's deep in the mountains where Clip hailed from, okay? And the other one in the circle of stones. Never tree, close to the water's edge, in the mountains, circle of stones. Okay? She goes...
There are 4 total or 5 total?
4 total. Circle of stones, Never tree, deep in the mountains, close to the water's edge.
And how are Clip and I seeing this?
You're seeing basically like this picture of Neverland that's flipped on its side, and then you just see 4 red balls.
Is this just in the sky?
It's in the sky.
Okay, got it.
Meeks is waving a wand in the air, and you see her create these like 4 red balls that are connected with all sorts of like thread and strands and things of that sort. She goes,
Look at Eris, and I'm just like, we can't beat that.
What did you say? I'm sorry, cut out.
We can't beat that. That's all of Neverland.
We'll see what happens.
And Meeks says to the group, so we just need an animal. Preferably like the fresher, the better. Yes. Magnoth, you have taken over all of Neverland. And she goes, with that, we might be able to gather some information, but I'm just not sure what sort of beings might be guarding the entrances to these caves, this cave system. And she looks at you all and says, this is your first task. Please, as newly formed members of the council, we take Meeks with you. Any of these spots would do, but we need an animal. She needs to be able to communicate with it and glean whatever information she can.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we can definitely beat this thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Take a longer look. Can I I've got a couple parchments on me. Can I just take a minute and do a rough sketch, and just locate, like, just put on the sketch just rough locations of where these mimics are?
Meeks sees that you're grabbing like a piece of parchment and you're trying to write it down, and instead she has you hold the parchment up in the air like this, almost like you're holding it at chest level, and she reaches down to the dirt and rubs it in her hands like this, and then just goes. And as she does, the dirt hits the map and forms the outline of Neverland on the map with these kind of red dots on the map.
It's going in the waterproof pouch.
Good call. Is there someplace more than any of the others that you would like to start? There is the cave system that you're familiar with, but there's no telling what sort of new holds have been put into place. There's the Never Tree, of course. There's this area sort of teeming with pirates. I hear it's more of like a shop, or filled with merchants and things of that sort.
Well, that's where we were headed anyway.
The Bazaar is where our ship is.
Oh, yes. Well, there is a clump underneath the Bazaar. We could head there if you'd like. Do you have means of transport?
We got a whole other ship, but it's not ours. Someone else's other ship.
That's wonderful. Can I go with you guys? I mean, like, I don't want to impose, but like, I would really like to go on a ship.
Sure. A member of the council is a member of the council. Am I right?
Council.
She's like super excited. She goes, I need to go get some things. No, I don't have anything. we're good. I can go anytime.
I think by the rules you're allowed to take one bathroom break.
Okay. And she goes running off. She goes running off in a different direction. And you see Seth like put a hand up, and then she kind of like looks over at you, Slowpoke, and raises an eyebrow. As you hear Meeks from a clump of trees being like, "This will only take a second."
Do you need food? You can probably have half a sandwich too.
Please don't bring me food while I'm peeing.
Okay.
I think
we have sandwiches on the ship.
Yeah. Seth nods and goes, well, I'm happy that the Lost Boys and Never Boys have joined our cause. This is a great day indeed.
We Lost Boys rarely have anything better to do.
And
it's true.
I never in a million years thought that the tribe would lend us aid in this matter, but I am beyond grateful. Thank you, Despai.
Of course. The tribe is very, very fair about hunting rules. So the fact that the mimics hunting out of bounds.
She nods her head. We will disperse. Otz, if you could do a perimeter check before we leave, that would be lovely. Just to make sure there are no hangers-on. And excluding Eris and Clip. And he nods his head. And yes, Thistle.
I have a question.
Meeks comes running back up.
Okay, I have a question.
Yep.
My question is, we've already figured out that we need to get rid of the mother mimics, and we either need to, like, or make them disappear when we thought there was just one, and now there's 4. Have you guys figured out how to do any of those things, or are we pretty much back at square one, except with lots more people involved?
She looks at you and says, "We will know more after your mission to retrieve an animal. We have the means to gather information, but we will know more soon."
Do you want another sheep? Because they just always seem to have bad news.
Meeks goes, "Ah!"
So we're leaving now? Is that what's going on?
No, rest for the evening. You all have woken up at an ungodly hour. Please go rest again.
We can rest on the boat and then just start like heading over there.
We can sleep on the ship.
Meeks starts running towards the parking lot. Like Meeks starts running to where all of the boats are tethered in the water, at the water's edge, and then she gets about halfway there. She runs past Eris and Clip, and like waves at you both, and then she gets about, I don't know, I want to say 100 feet away, and then comes like running back, as she realizes she doesn't know what your boat looks like.
I'll show you.
It's the one with the wings.
Where did we park it? Was it? Oh no.
Was it in heroes or villain?
Which side? Was it purple?
You parked it
Was
in
Goofy.
You parked it in H2O lot C.
Okay. It's like, do you have a beaker?
Row.
No rows. There's not that many ships.
Oh, okay.
A lot of people walk. Yeah, nobody ever takes.
Go with the flying ship with the panda.
Yeah, nobody takes the ferry anymore. It's all other modes of transport.
I know. Just park up that's closer and walk over.
Yeah. You see Connor take Meeks by the hand and sort of drag her away from the group, and he looks like he's having a conversation with her before she leaves. Rovar looks at you all and says, "It's a tough decision. So I respect what you had to do, but I also respect holding off until you know all the information. So be kind to Eris and Clip."
Hell, what's one more pack? And Cal just starts walking to the ship.
Yeah. He looks over at you, and then he heads over towards a tree as you all walk away. He heads over towards a tree and gives a sharp wave over to Eris and Clip, and then walks into the tree as the tree opens up in a very familiar fashion, and he is gone. So,
I use my sending stone that Rovar gave me to communicate with him.
yeah.
And I say, be safe. Don't hate me for this. Be safe.
Don't tell me what to do. But yes, I'll be safe. I don't hate you for using your brain. Find your truth. Yeah, you guys, the group begins to disperse as Connor very meekly gives Meeks a hug. It looks like he's never hugged anyone before in his life, but he leans forward a little bit and just sort of wraps his lizard hands, and Meeks is all like smiling and like she's kind of like looking at the rest of the group, being like, "Can you see this? This is amazing." As Connor gives her a hug and then backs away and then begins to walk off in the opposite direction away from the group into the fog on the other side of the rainbow pond. Okay, you guys are clear. The group disperses. Eris and Clip. You see Seth sitting on a bench as the other individuals from the council begin to disperse and move to go about their various tasks and things of that sort. But does anybody share with them that you're headed back towards the ship?
Yeah, I think I would go up to him and be like, hey guys, plan is head back towards ship, get a good night's rest. We're doing a little animal rescue tomorrow, if you guys are in for that part.
That is quite literally my only thing that.
Great. So we're doing it.
If Seth is by herself, I want to walk over to her.
Okay. Yeah, she's sitting on a bench, looking out over.
Okay,
the water. So it looks like we're going to the ship. Bye. As Cal has already left for the ship, Meeks is sort of standing there and like looking at Thistle and just kind of like staring at you in the face.
We should go to the ship. I'll show you around. The other ship's cooler though. I should introduce you to Soup.
Okay. I really like Soup.
You will.
And they go walking off towards the ship. Eris, what are you doing during all this?
I am standing my ground and watching Clip and Seth. I'm not leaving until she's done.
Des, what about you? Are you heading back with Slowpoke, Thistle, Cal?
I want to talk to Eris.
Yeah. Let's do this then. We'll do Seth and Clip really quick, and then you two can have the conversation that's being had with that. Seth looks up from her seat and tilts a head in your direction to sit at the seat next to her.
I sit. I'm not really making eye contact with her. I'm looking out at the pond. I wanted to say thank you.
For what?
For letting me see my family.
She nods her head. She goes, I would like to say that I take credit for this.
That's it.
You are very welcome, Clip.
I am very used to doing things very quickly and very without thought. But this has to do with my family. Both the ones I have recently chosen and the ones that I grew up with.
Oh.
So I can't just make rash decisions.
I see.
So thank you for the opportunity and for seeing family. And I will do everything I can to help you, but I don't think I'll ever be able to join a council or a pact. But I do offer my help.
She nods her head and goes, there is a strength and safety in connection. I am simply trying to create something of worth that is comparable to the connection shared by those influenced by the Mother Mimic. A group of individuals held together with the same path in mind. There is much that can come from such a group connected and collected together. But I also understand that group point of views can be somewhat myopic in a time. I am not going to lie to you. I think the decision you are making is wrong. I understand your choice to do so. But I would have not created this council, this collection of individuals, if I didn't fully believe that this was the right path to take. If you seek some sort of absolution for your sin, you will find none here. There is no sin to absolve. You are doing what you believe is right. And I will do what I believe to be right.
She just nods and gets up, walks away.
Okay. While this conversation with Clip is happening, Des, you're going to go over and talk with Eris, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am.
Should be noted, I think I'm still over there.
No, I thought you left for
Yeah,
the
you
ship.
said okay, bye.
Well, because
You
Clip
did say
walked away
okay,
from
bye.
me.
Oh, that's
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
So,
Okay, then I say
No, no,
Thank you.
I can head to the ship.
Eris, you're smart. Aren't you? You're smart.
Who's to say, really? I
You brought
just
us
trust
here
my-
tonight. You brought us here. You forged the path for when we should fight the Mimic. You said that we needed to come up with a plan, that we couldn't go in alone. You said that we needed a team. You said we needed to work together. So I am wondering why you do not trust this.
It's a gut feeling.
But see, you have these gut feelings quite often.
All the
Don't
time.
you? All the time, and you have it sometimes with this group as well, don't you? Eris, you asked me about faith the other day. You asked me about how I have faith in my gods. And it is because I have faith in people, and because I can believe and trust in people. And if you want to have any sort of connection towards anything, if you want to fight for anything, if you want to achieve this destiny that you very obviously have laid out in front of you from your family, from the secrets of your past, if you want to figure this out and if you want to help people, then you need to trust and have faith in people.
I can't trust everyone, and I won't.
You don't trust anyone.
Trust is earned. This group has earned my trust.
Have we?
Yes.
Then why do you go against what you have said is right for this group?
Because I don't trust her.
Why not? What is your
What
gut
is it that she didn't say about this path? What is, like, there's 4 other groups in Neverland who refuse to come here. The tribe refused to come here. The
The
Nether
4 are represented here. We have the Lost Boys, we have the Never Boys, and we have the tribe. The only people who couldn't connect with anybody were the pirates. Because of course they couldn't, because they never agreed on anything.
So you know that the tribe has agreed for you to come forward.
The tribe would have wanted to be here. We were at the front of the lines in the fight before this had even become broadcasted to the rest of the world, to the rest of our island. We were there. Do you not remember when we had Rovar and all of the others, and we all teamed up together? The tribe was there at the core. So yes, I'm representing my tribe in the best interests. And yes, I think that the tribe should be represented here just as much as the Lost Boys and the Never Boys and everybody else, including you. We're fighting for our safety. We're fighting for our home.
She's giving us as a sacrifice, you know.
No, she's not.
She absolutely is.
To be a soldier and to fight for something is not a sacrifice. If you don't want to actually...
Then you know what, Des? I guess my thoughts and opinions just don't ever matter.
No, they do matter.
They don't. I'm constantly wrong. I'm always wrong. I was wrong on top of the mountain whenever I was just trying to discuss what was going on, and here I am, wrong again. I can never make anyone proud of me. And I walk off.
You're smart. I know you're smart.
I walked off.
Then I walked to the ship.
Yep.
If she's not going to be...
Yep.
There.
If she's not going to be there.
Yeah. Eris, do you just head off into the park? Or are you heading back to the ship as well, knowing where people are headed?
I'm staying where I can see still because I'm waiting on her.
Sure. Clip, after a bit of time, I would say your interaction with Seth went a little faster, but you would see Des and Eris engaged in a bit of a heated conversation. So as you walk up, you would see that the place has been disbanded, with the exception of Otz, who has taken over where Seth was sitting. Otz has a shiny knife that you've never seen anything like, that's catching little bits of the moonlight, and he's just kind of flipping it absent-mindedly in his hand. You only notice it because it's making an odd clicking sound as he flips it up into the air and catches it by the blade, not by the handle itself. He flicks it up into the air. The blade gets to the apex, falls down, and right before the blade hits the ground, he catches it between two fingers, the blade of the knife itself. But you head over towards where Eris is. She's just kind of standing there looking like she had just had a heated conversation with Des.
Are you okay?
No.
Do you want to talk?
Ever since I got into this body, I've been questioned all of my decisions. I don't have any right answers. I never will, and I don't claim to. I just wish that my decisions mattered and that they felt like they were, because I feel constantly like they're beaten down. That I'm not heard. And this only... I thought I was. It seems like I'm heard only in situations where it's convenient for everyone. But the second I have a differing opinion, and that I'm going against the grain or whatever you want to call it, it's struck down. And I just don't know what's right or wrong. But I appreciate you listening, always.
We should head back to the ship where everyone's going. I have a feeling I'm about to have a very similar conversation with Kat. And that's not going to be fun.
Well,
yeah.
sorry, I would have told her, yeah, well, my relationship with Cal is not great either, considering the last time we actually talked, he wanted to kill me. So I feel that.
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah. He mentioned that he wanted to do harm to me. And he also mentioned that he was having those feelings with you because of the hook.
I feel like we all need to sit down and have a conversation.
I'm not ready. Let's go.
Cal, you were the first one back at the ship. Since I think you were the first person to leave, you're followed pretty far away, but not too far, by Thistle and Meeks, who are just excitedly talking back and forth as it's essentially a game of Meeks going, "What's that?" And Thistle it's turning into that scene from Charlie, You're a Good Man, Charlie Brown.
This is still the ship with the zombies and the skeletons, right?
No, you guys are.
Oh, this is the different one.
You're headed towards your ship.
No,
Yes,
towards our ship. The ship with the zombies and the skeletons.
Ship with the
I
zombies
can
and
show
the
her all the zombies and skeletons. I can introduce them.
Let me introduce you to my friends.
Immediately goes to Gargi. Like he goes to.
You find Gargi. Gargi's in the kitchen, where he normally is, and Gargi is amidst the kitchen. And as you come into the kitchen, you see a knife go flying through the air. Unfortunately, it is a butter knife. As the knife goes flying through the air and pings against your armor, and he goes, "Ha ha! Oh, you thought you could sneak up? The greatest villain the world has ever known. You must wake up pretty early in the morning."
And Cal just pulls the pistol. It's like, I just need something strong, extremely strong. Something dark as the night. Whatever your brand of alcohol is.
I'm strong. Oh, you want something to drink? My soul is also dark as the night.
Put your soul in a drink? Then I don't want it. Make so, please.
I will make you a drink called Gargi's Soul.
You know what? That sounds
It's
great.
mostly rum. With a hint of peppermint, because we all have good days.
Favorite
I just
Gargi
wish
quote right
that
there.
day was today. Yes, I will take it, Gargi.
He makes a drink for you, and he says, "Why do you request a drink of me? Why do you come to me in this mood?"
As a former villain, I guess you can kind of understand being pulled in different directions.
Well, nobody's perfect.
See, I knew I could come to you, Gargi. Yeah, he like pulled up the hook. He's like, I did this to help, and it seemed to be questioned. I did something that I thought would just help, and then I got not the same in reciprocation. So I'm not quite sure which way to go.
Do you regret your choices?
I don't regret them.
Good. Because I don't know what regret is. I've never regretted anything in my life, so I wouldn't know how to sympathize. I can do this, though. Hold this plate. Hold it. Hold it as if it is the soul of your enemy cradled in your hand.
Okay.
Now throw it at the ground.
And he just slings it.
The plate shatters into 100 pieces. Now apologize to the plate.
No.
Apologize. Gargi commands.
And Cal says no.
Why not?
It doesn't need to be apologized to.
Very good.
And then Cal will take a gold and give it to Gargi. He goes, sorry about the plate. And he'll go,
I am not some paid minion. Take your gold back. I am the greatest villain this world has ever known. I will pay
Buy
you.
some like poison or something with it. You make it useful.
Ooh, I didn't think of that. I require 5 gold.
You get one and you're gonna be happy.
I will not be happy, but I will be glad.
But you're gonna take it, right?
I will take it. Thank you very much.
You.
There is some pretty things I've been admiring.
And then he's just gonna take the drink and go walk out on.
It's very strong, but after every bitter taste to it, there is a hint of sweetness at the tail end of it. Much like Gargi.
Ah, awesome.
Can we cut to like Slowpoke and Thistle just having just a very pleasant conversation?
Meeks is there, and Meeks is like just sitting down, sort of cross-legged on the ship, and at one moment she's got like really long hair, but as she sits on the ship, she goes, "This is a safe place, right?"
Yes.
Yeah.
She shakes her head out, and you see like 3 birds, 2 squirrels, and what looks to be a fully grown porcupine. You're not sure how it got in there. But a fully grown like porcupine like comes out of the hair, and her hair shrinks a little bit as they all just kind of like skitter around the deck and stuff like that.
Looks at the drink, realizes he might be hallucinating, and continues on.
Yeah.
Meeks, Thistle, there's something I want to show you.
Okay.
Is it a pony?
I found it. No,
I bet it's
this,
a pony.
and it's a really cool stick. I found a really cool stick.
I love cool sticks.
Bring it.
Tell me about the stick.
Okay, look at this. The top end looks like it could be a slingshot, but the bottom end also looks like it could be a slingshot.
So it's a double slingshot.
Meeks goes running and jumps off the side of the ship. Just jumps off the side of the ship into a little bit of.
No, that's
you hear like a splash of water. A bit of time goes by, and then she comes like climbing up. She's like, "I got real excited. This is amazing."
That was great.
Oh my god! Sometimes I get real excited, and I just gotta jump in stuff.
Do you want me some zombies?
I just don't know. I don't know if I want to like make it into just one double slingshot or just 2 regular slingshots.
Yeah, but it's already a double slingshot. That's way cooler than 2 regular slingshots.
Meeks,
Yeah, but
Meeks like turns her head for a second. She goes, "Aren't all slingshots double slingshots?"
No, because there's 2 sides, but it just shoots 1 stone unless you load extra stones into them. What if you made the cups bigger and then you could put extra stones in both sides and then you could figure out a way to pull them both back at the same time, and then it's like a quadruple boople quadruple.
What if we use it together? I hold the middle and then you pull from this side and Meeks pulls from this side.
Yeah.
Meeks goes running and jumps in the water again. like,
Since when did Thistle take a point in Artificer? Come on.
I will say this: you have the cool stick. The 3 of you are working together. Go ahead and give me a. Give me somebody take the lead on this one and give me an intelligence check and advantage.
Oh, you might not want to have me take the lead on this. Hold on a minute. No.
I got
you.
Slowpoke's gonna work on
Yeah.
it. Give me an intelligence check at advantage, Slowpoke.
Sweet. Ooh, the 21.
21. Now somebody give me a dexterity check. It can be Slowpoke again to actually put this plan into action.
I'm better at dex. I mean, I'm not tremendously
You
great.
do it.
Okay.
Do it.
All right. Wow. Oh, okay. That's not terrible. That's a 17.
It takes the better part of the evening, but the 3 of you put your heads together and through some creative uses of druid crafting and some of the bowstring that Slowpoke has and some cool rocks that Thistle has, you create the quadruple boople slingshot.
Yes!
The quadruple boople slingshot is one that you can use an action to fire, like you would for any slingshot. However, another player next to you can also use their bonus action to fire from your slingshot, as there are two sides to the slingshot, and can fire the quadruple boople slingshot. I will.
Yes!
Love that.
I will say that it also counts as a +1 slingshot. For the sake of the quadruple boople, everybody go ahead and add a +1 slingshot into your inventory in case you fire it with your bonus action.
Great.
+1 slingshot. Let's go add there.
This is the best invention that's ever been invented in the history of inventions.
This is the best thing I've ever done. Ever.
Me too.
I'm almost sad I just got this other bow. Because... Well, you know what? We'll use it for fun.
I just had an idea.
What?
It's really weird.
Okay.
What if we turn somebody into a snail and then fire them out of the slingshot?
Oh my gosh!
Thistle
This is
jumps off the
amazing.
ship into the.
Yes.
Cool. So, any of
I
you,
love that we have children for comedy, really.
any of you that are walking on the ship would see Slowpoke, Thistle, and Meeks engaged in a conversation. You'd also see various woodland creatures, including a few squirrels and birds and a porcupine wandering around the deck of the ship.
Those are not mine.
No, but they're wandering about the ship, and I will have a finalized quadruple boople. In who's the main person that's going to hold on to the quadruple boople?
I feel like it's Slowpoke's by default because it was his originally.
But he's got.
But if he doesn't think he would use it, I'd probably use it.
I'll add it to Thistle's inventory, the quadruple boople, and then
take the quadruple boople slingshot. Yes. Really, I want you to have it.
Oh my gosh.
It's the scene in Star Wars where the lightsaber is handed over, like the night quiets as the Slowpoke hands over the quadruple boople, like.
Will you fire the other side as a bonus action?
Whenever you want me to.
Thanks.
I don't know what bonus action mean.
Me either. I just heard somebody say it in my brain.
Oh, okay. If I can do something and I have a little bit more time to do something that's a slightly less significant motion, I'll do it.
I don't know what that means, but I agree.
You've just succinctly described a bonus action for everyone. Thank you, Garrison. We're gonna clip that.
It's
Somebody,
like half an action.
if you were gonna do something, but it wasn't like, this is what I want to do with my whole time.
I just want to do some of my time with it.
Great. God, the quadruple boople. Watch this be like the God Killer. Like this is.
I hope it is.
God,
you know what took down Goliath? I'm just throwing that out there.
You do have a Goliath.
I'm instituting a new system here with these NPCs. There are quite a few individuals on the council, and there will only be more. Slowpoke, Thistle, if you look under the notes section of your character sheet on D&D Beyond, and you go to allies,
yes,
you need to type in +1 bond Meeks.
Oh, that's a neat little thing. Like that.
Cool.
It means that in a fight, Meeks will be a little bit more likely to be able to lend aid and stuff like that. So you have a +1 bond because of your RP choice with Meeks, okay? And other individuals you may not get along with that well, but other individuals may, so they may develop a bond with those individuals as well, okay?
Otz and I are like this.
You and Otz are probably going to be like +8 bond by the time this adventure ends. They will not be +8 bond by the time the adventure ends.
You're right. It'll be +12.
It'll be +12 bonds. Spoiler alert, Otz is your dad.
What?
I'm just kidding. That would be
Okay.
awful. That'd be terrible.
Wait, what?
Why would you just lore drop like that?
Wrinkles.
I'm just kidding. Bob from Wonder is your dad.
Oh my god. Tracks.
Thistle Slowpoke.
Isn't he all our dad?
He's technically all of our dads. Honestly, it's in his contract. Slowpoke and Thistle and Meeks are spending their bit of time until Hugh wakes up, since you all have a long rest. Yes, we're talking about your man.
He was my man first, anyway.
We're gonna be a
But
fight.
what would the rest of you be doing until Hugh wakes up and sends the ship into the sky?
I am taking out the Neverland map
Okay.
and looking for Loki.
Okay, you can totally do that. Eris comes aboard the ship. Dez is on the ship. Everybody's aboard the ship at this point. Are you doing this below deck where the bunks were, or on
Yeah,
top?
I'd make sure I was alone.
Okay, give me a stealth check. There's only one other individual that I would have
18
bumming around the ship. Yep. You feel fairly confident that you are not there. Okay, let's see where he is, actually. Hang on while I bring up my map of Neverland. That Indigo Chameleon created.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, you spot him. You spot him on Skull Rock.
Cool.
Who were you looking for?
My daddy.
That's fair.
Pops is on Skull Rock at the moment. That's where you see his little dot moving around. You see a few other
For
little
some
dots.
reason that needed.
Yeah.
After things.
Yeah, you see a few other little dots moving around on that rock, but you have not met them yet, or they are non-identifiable. But that's where dear old Pops is.
How close is it? Well, it's like past our bedtime. Wait, park's closed. What time?
So here's the deal. You guys had an early bedtime. That was a kind DM. So right now you are killing time until Hugh gets his butt up. Unfortunately, Panda's sleeping. Cannon. Panda's sleeping. Hugh wakes up.
So we already slept.
So you already
we
slept.
had a long rest.
You had a
Okay.
long rest.
Yeah.
And I
Gotta back
think
that down.
you did. Yes. What level are you guys right now? Level 8?
8.
Yep. Yeah, you guys are. You guys take a long rest. Des, what are you doing with your time? That night, are you just coming in and just kind of going chill? You meditating a little
I
bit?
have nothing to do and nobody I want to talk to.
Yeah. We've all had days like that. More so than all.
I am either going to bed or staring at the ceiling. Like, that's it.
Where's Pomo?
The
Where's
outside
Pomo?
ceiling,
Where's Pomo?
like you just stare at the stars, and it's beautiful.
Yeah.
Clip, what are you doing?
I am gonna go find Cal.
Okay, Cal, where are you at, man?
Just on the bow of the ship.
Yeah, Cal's on the bow of the ship. He's drinking a small drink, and he looks somewhat comfortable. Like as he drinks his drink, he takes a little shiver every time the strong alcohol taste hits him. But there's always a little cool flavor at the very end of it.
I've taken off the hat for now.
Yeah, back in skeleton form.
Yeah.
Can we talk?
Go ahead.
I kind of want to explain to you why I didn't.
Oh, yeah, go ahead. I would like one too. Why you didn't do this?
I thought you were gonna say.
Oh no! I want to talk more than anybody, because everybody seems to have a question about what I do. So when I ask, so it's very rarely do I get to ask why you didn't.
When
do
did I
something.
ever question you?
Why did I put on the hook? What, you guys walked out and I was floating from the sky, and no one asked about that.
I did. I did ask you about that, and you were ignoring the question.
No,
so don't
you
sit
asked
there
me-
and act like a martyr.
No, you asked me what was going on. I said, something's not feeling right. I need to go. Let me guess. Eris just told you about what's going on
What's going on?
with the hook.
That you've had bad feelings on? Yes.
Mm-hmm. Did she also tell you that she was the one that said, tell me you have any bad feelings about it? So I did exactly as she said. And then I get looked at like I'm the monster.
I don't think.
Everyone thinks that because Hook's my dad, that I'm going to end up like him.
I can be completely honest with you. Is I don't give any care about what Hook or who Hook is. Hook has never come in my vision or in my family or anything. So I don't care.
So why did you not take the seed?
I cannot promise my life.
But I promised my life for your family, and you couldn't.
And I would give my life for you.
Then you should have taken a seed. Because at that point, I told you that when we walked out of here, when you were raging against that mother mimic, I had to pull you off because everyone else had left. I said we will come back. I told you we would come back, and that was our end goal. And I did it without thinking, because I did it for everybody. But I did it most importantly for you, because I still feel bad what happened in the dungeon way back when we started when I used mind control on you, and I owed you. And I paid back my debts. So you and Eris both not taking a seed spoke volumes.
During this conversation, as you guys are sort of engrossed in each other at one point, both of your eyes instinctively dart and are attracted to a little bit of movement as a porcupine is just sitting up watching this conversation take place. you're not sure where it came from, and it
just
looks...
standing up?
No, he's not even standing. He's sitting on his butt. Like, he's like sitting like this a little bit. Like, you're not even sure how it's possible, but it's just like the claws are up, and it's just sort of like it's, and as you talk, the eyes dart from one to the other.
I wish people would trust me more.
Before we continue this conversation, have you seen this porcupine that's
Yeah, I
watching
see the
us?
porcupine. I've had a lot to drink. I'm not quite sure what's going on.
Okay, I'm making sure we both see it. That's something I need to make sure. I don't appreciate that you say these things when I have never done something against you or questioned what you've done, because I haven't. I never have judged you for being Hook's son or being whoever's son.
You saw what happened in the bubble.
What happened in the bubble, I saw a man with his son.
I don't remember that. I'm sorry I lashed out. I, to be honest, felt really betrayed.
I can't afford to make rash decisions anymore. But I trust you with my life. And I would put down my life for you.
I flipped to take that seat.
So there was hesitation. Don't lie to me.
No, because either way, I would have done it. Sometimes you gotta make up your own luck. And sometimes just flipping the coin just makes my anxiety go away.
I did.
don't want to argue. I don't.
Higher. Every.
I think.
I offer Persephone my help, but I can't offer my life.
Okay.
As you go, okay, and she goes, okay, you hear a little chitter, like,
Yeah, buddy, you got it.
from the porcupine, who does not know what is going on because he is a porcupine.
Because he is not a magical porcupine, just a porcupine.
So, Hugh eventually wakes up and begins preparing the ship for launch as the dragonfly wings are attended to, and he goes about in the captain's quarters setting a course for the Bazaar, where you all will set forth on a mission with Meeks in order to rescue one of the animals being held captive. While at the Bazaar, you will see what changes have been brought to the Bazaar. Some of you will be able to see what has Yazbor's followers been up to in the time that you were gone, and what sort of influences the Greek gods would have had on the Bazaar. Yes, Cal.
One last thing, just for the conversation between Clip and Cal. With them saying that like that they trust him, he would have told it's not Hook's fault.
Yes, you have to look into that.
But it's not Hook. I don't know whose it is. That's not.
With that, Cal relays the only bit of information that the rest of the party was not privy to, is that the Hook expressed a great disdain for being compared to a mortal man, and thinking that he would have belonged to Captain Hook when he belonged to someone much more powerful, and insulted Cal for ever making his friends insinuate that he came from there. With that revelation at hand, that is where we are going to end tonight's episode. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. For good RP makes me so happy. It fulfills my love of immersive and interactive theater. Take a deep breath in, take a deep breath out. Let it go, let it go. It is of your character and it is gone. For now, it is a magical time of whiskey and drinks and holding and holding loved ones close and moving beds. This is a good time. So we are going to see these lovely adventurers on Friday. As we head back toward the Bazaar. We're gonna go raid a channel right now to share a little bit of the D&D love. We're gonna go say, proficiency bonus. What a great name for a channel.
That's awesome.
Indigo Connect, and hey, are we ever gonna stop making double-sided slingshots?
Never!
That's right. We love you guys. We'll see you soon. And as the porcupine says.